I used to go for work with my dad also. I used to edit for him since I was like 12 years old. So I was more behind the camera than in front of the camera.
He loved the trailer. And I think he is somebody who will speak up only after he watches the film. He's my biggest critique.
We have run behind those journalists with knives and made them run. We've done a lot of things. So we have gotten away with a lot of things which we don't do anymore and we can't do anymore also.
Yeah.
So that time we were literally wild.
I'm a very strong believer of what is someone's right might not be right for someone else.
Exactly.
And to accept that fact and lead your life with that is actually the biggest thing. You know, everyone can have the right to think a certain way or do things.
And that's why I have decided in my life long back that never be judgmental about another.
Yeah, I want to post. This is my social media for me to show you how much I want to show about my life, and rest not to have an opinion on what people have about my life.
It's not just a pinch for me when my dad is concerned with this film. Since I've lost him, it pinches me every day. Anyways.
In the last few years, there have been several paradigm shifts in the industry, and there's one man who's been faced behind most of them. And there's this one lady who's catapulted herself into the big league with some of the best performances in the last few years. Today, I'm joined by Ajay Devgn and Rakul Preet Singh only in conversation with me on Bollywood Bubble. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Nayan. That was very sweet.
You know, your friend Sajid, we had met at Sajid's place once, if you don't remember, but he had told me on a different day that you always wanted or aspired to be a director from your college days. Is that true?
Yeah, because I was an assistant director. I used to go for work with my dad also. I used to edit for him since I was like 12 years old. So I was more behind the camera than in front of the camera. And I've made a lot of those small films as a director, but not as an actor. So yes, I was more inclined on that side, and then I became an actor. Now I have a good balance of both.
Both. Do you ever plan to release those films? Kabhi hai, abhi
No,
nahi?
yaar, I've lost those prints and all that because they were not digital. That time there was nothing digital.
Just VCRs and all.
Yeah, so it's not survived.
But sir, when you come on board as a director, honestly, I am somebody who's loved You, Me or Hum, and of course the world has loved Shiver. But there are very few and the directorial ventures are very few and far in between, and they're spaced out. After many years, you do that.
I get so occupied in between, and then I get the right script, and I get some time for myself, and then I decide to do it. But now it won't take too long for the next one.
But when you do a film as a director and versus an actor, and when you do take up as a film as an actor, what is that one parameter that you look for? Is it the same for you, or what do you look for?
I think for me, it's always a permutation combination. Yeah, sometimes you want to work with a certain actor, sometimes you want to work with a certain director, and then sometimes your character is so exciting, or the story that the film is about is so interesting. So something or the other has to connect. But primarily, I think now I'm in a space where I want my character also to speak, irrespective of the length. It should have an impact, in the main thread of the film.
What about you, sir?
Choosing as a director or?
Differently, yeah.
Yeah, so as a director, basically, the story should move me, inspire me, that I need to tell the story myself, and it should be challenging to make. So that is one thing as a director. As an actor, I also follow my heart. I mean, when I hear scripts, I instantly decide if I should do it or not do it.
You're wearing a uniform, so you come from an army family, not... Everybody knows now.
Yeah, by now 10,000 times.
Yeah, I think, and there's a sense of discipline in both of you. You know, is that one thing that you both connect on? Like, diet proper hai, khana kuch ulta seedha nahi khana hai, punctual.
But discipline is a lifestyle, and I think.
But in actors, that's not a lifestyle. Usually we see.
No, now it is.
Now it is.
There was this time when it wasn't.
Yeah, and now most of the people are disciplined. I mean, at least whoever I've worked with so far. And there's also, I think today people don't have patience. If you're not disciplined and if you're not respecting your work, you're very easily replaceable.
True.
So nobody is going to deal with your nonsense, So I think everyone has to be disciplined.
So how was it wearing the uniform? Did you like first day on set, did you send it to your dad? Because he is from the army and
No, actually, I didn't. I sent from the first day of shoot, yes. Not when I had the look test trial finalized. I sent, and he was very happy. He's like, oh, very nice and, smart and all. But he loved the trailer. And I think he is somebody who will speak up only after he watches the film. He's my biggest critique.
I want to ask both of you that, what I took away from the trailer is that there's a very thin line between right and wrong. And you really don't know who's right or who's wrong until you completely know the truth from both
True.
sides. Has there ever been a point in your life where you've also been a little confused between what's right and what's wrong before you made a decision?
Lots of times when you hear, I mean, actually, practically every second day, when there are, because when you have a big team, there are arguments and, between friends and things like this, and you hear one side of the story and then you say, okay, this happened. And then when you hear the other side of the story and it's completely different from this side of the story. So you have to think for yourself what is right and what is wrong. And sometimes you never come to know what is right and what is wrong.
Yeah.
So it happens very, very often.
But have you ever regretted making a judgment based on something like that? Like
Not really. Since a long time, I don't make judgments on hearing from one side of the story. I hear both sides of the story.
What about you?
I think, like Sir said, many a times, and I'm a very strong believer of what is someone's right might not be right for someone else.
Exactly.
And to accept that fact and lead your life with that is actually the biggest thing. Everyone can have the right to think a certain way or
And
do things.
that's why I have decided in my life long back that never be judgmental about other people.
Yeah.
In their situation, what they think must be right for them.
True.
It wouldn't be right for you in your situation. So that does not mean they are wrong completely. So who am I to judge? I mean, if you are doing something in life or which I would consider
Wrong.
immoral
Well, yeah,
also, but why would it be immoral for you? I mean, it depends on what your priorities are. So I've never been judgmental like this.
Yeah.
I know that nobody likes this question that whether you've played a prank, but sir, I want to.
I have not played a prank.
Not at all. He
I
didn't
know
have the
you
time
must
for
have.
prank.
But you have a very different demeanor when when we meet you. There's a different person, and when you meet without any cameras, there's a different person, and you with friends also you're a different person. Like I've heard stories of you guys. Like from college and being on the jeep, you, Tabu ma'am, and
Yeah, but that was like long back, yeah.
But Habibi, somewhere.
No, I'm not the same. You
Not at
all
all.
mature, yeah. You all grow up and.
No, I think, but there's a sense of there's a childlike,
But that childlike should always be there.
With everybody, it should.
With
be.
everyone.
I've seen that in a few interviews with senior journalists who you have known for like
Pulling their
decades.
legs and.
Yeah, but you usually are very calm. And is there a reason behind it? Because
No, this is how I am. There's no reason behind it.
but in the movie, I was coming to that because in the 90s, especially not now at least now toxicity gets called out very easily. In the 90s, all the actors have braved some of the worst, malicious, salacious gossip about them. Has there ever been? Because the movie also deals with about reportage and everything. Today, sometimes we do troll stories. So
Yeah.
that's the worst thing that any publication can do. Thankfully, we don't do it anymore, and I'll say it again because when you do it, the trolls feel like अरे हमको मौका मिल रहा है
Exactly.
पेज पे आने
Correct.
को।
Exactly.
और जो लोग troll नहीं कर रहे वो सोचते हैं हम लोग troll करके आ सकते हैं तो troll
Correct.
करते हैं।
Thank
Correct.
you so much, Nayan, for actually making this point.
Yeah, and it happens and it's so sad. I'm like,
Yeah.
this actor got trolled. His response, अरे but why? Why do you do
Yeah,
that?
why give it weight?
It is so stupid. But in that back in those days, how do you deal with that? Has there ever been a moment where you've woken up to something which is really ridiculous and like you've lost your cool?
Honestly, at that time, we never used to care for one, and if it really did bother us, we have run behind those journalists with knives and made them run. We've done a lot of things, so we have gotten away with a lot of things which we don't do anymore and we can't do anymore also.
Yeah.
So that time we were literally wild, and also what used to happen also is there were like very limited journalists.
Yeah.
We knew them very personally, so it was a fight between us, and we used to whatever we used to do, and then we used to settle it
Make
also
it
in a
up.
few
Yeah,
days. You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So it was fine. It was like people in the same fraternity sulking with each other or fighting with each other or beating up each other also.
Yeah.
So it can't happen now because I don't know now
Hey,
where
people
does
are very
media
sensitive.
stop.
Yeah.
With social media, and forget social media also, the Twitter and everything.
Yeah.
Everybody's a journalist because everybody has a point of view and everybody is commenting.
Yeah.
True. What about you? How do you deal with negativity online?
I don't read it.
The best.
I don't read it. I use my social media for only my film promotions. I want to post. This is my social media for me to show you how much I want to show about my life, and rest not to have an opinion on what people have about my life.
You have had a very, very warm relationship with the entire Bachchan family. Abhishek Bachchan looks at you like an elder brother. And I think you've pulled up a lot of pranks on Bachchan sir also, which they have discussed. Parag sir के ऊपर भी बहुत सारे pranks हुए Bachchan sir को लेके. मुझे सिर्फ जानना है कि when you directed him, was there any moment where you felt like, when you direct somebody like Amitabh Bachchan, to ask for a second take also can become uneasy for people like, of course not.
No, he doesn't let you do that.
He asks.
If you're saying the take is okay also, he'll say एक और कर लेते हैं. अरे sir अच्छा था. I mean, I got exactly what I wanted. नहीं, just for me, just one. So he's so into it and so dedicated that वो intimidation होता ही नहीं है. I mean, he's like there, like a child trying to do good work.
What about you?
It's like a dream come true. Yeah, I can never say enough of how my experience working with Amitabh Bachchan sir is. It's every actor's dream to share screen space with him, feed on his energy,
True.
And it was just amazing.
It's a surreal feeling.
Yeah, it is surreal. To be in his magnetic presence, it is.
But when you talk about families' reactions to the trailer, I want to know, like, today your kids are also growing up, so they do, and today's kids are very advanced. Like, my 10-year-old niece would be like, why have you gone and watched this movie without me when she's sitting in Calcutta and I'm here in Bombay? So I want to know, like, what were their reaction? What was your family's reaction to, because this is a special film, it's special in a lot of ways.
No, my kids are they're like, okay, the trailer's nice, let's see how the film is going to be. So,
Yeah.
वो आपकी तरह इतना ही कम बोलते हैं?
इतना ही कम बोलते हैं.
My parents are also like that. Oh, we love the trailer, great, amazing. They'll say extra 2-3 cheezeं, and then they say, okay, now, they'll speak after the film, actually.
How did Kajol ma'am react to the whole?
She's loved the trailer, she's heard the script, she's loved the script.
Is there anything that you're planning to do with her? Listen, this is again like a 90s boy saying, I'm pretty sure you will also believe that I missed interviewing you during Tanaji. So I really want you guys to do another film so that we can at least do interviews, because otherwise you don't do interviews. So is there a plan to do another film?
At the moment, nothing, but we might plan something.
You said that you started work with your dad when you were 12. This is your first film as a director where he won't be there to see it. Is there a pinch that you feel? Because
of course there's a pinch. It's not just a pinch for me when my dad is concerned with this film. Since I've lost him, it pinches me every day. Anyways.
But thank you, sir. And I know that this film is going to really, really do well, because the content of the film already speaks for itself. And like I said,
and your friends know the release date. And next time, every film we should call him and say कि friends को पता है, नहीं तो उनको बुला के release date बताओ.
Exactly that, because I genuinely feel, and I told him just before the interview, and that this is one way to gauge that, okay, people know. Yeah. And I know that this film is going to do really well, and I hope that you continue to be the human beings that you are. That is what matters the most. And you make more films and direct some more very, very quickly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nysa.
Thank you.
Thank you.